FTI community, once again, I am joined by a content creator, a storyteller. He is a musician. He is an aspiring filmmaker. And most recently, he celebrated 10 years on YouTube. Yes, 10 years, making him a decade-old content creator. FTI community, I am joined by TheNathan709. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Yeah, it's been just got back to school today, so it's been a long day, but you know, we're here. We're doing this finally.
What does semester 2 look like right now? Like, what was your first day back looking like?
Oh, I have a full course load now. I haven't had that in a couple semesters, so it's gonna be a bit of an adjustment again. But you know,
if I can ask, what are you studying?
I'm doing business right now.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's all right. You know, it's mainly just so I can have something to back me up.
Yes.
But I have a couple years left, I think. So
yeah,
pushing through it.
When you was it last year or 2 years ago when you were working for your city radio station?
The news, yeah.
Was that part of school?
No, I'm still there. That's just my job. Oh. That is just I was very fortunate with that to get that because you know, it fits in right where I kind of what I'm doing. I love videos, love making videos, love video production, love that whole thing. So
yeah,
it was very very fortunate.
Yeah, man. Everything from like the video production, everything till like honestly, you're there from some pretty early mornings and late nights too. So it all comes with the job title, or I should say job titles, because a lot goes into it. As I mentioned, you have just recently celebrated 10 years on YouTube, which is crazy to say because you're so young still. And I, alongside many FTI community members, have been along for the journey for the last 3+ years.
Almost 4, I think.
Almost 4.
2021.
Yes, sir. Yes,
That's
sir.
Weird.
I was just talking. I was talking to Will. I was like, I just talked, well, not just because it's been 2 years, but we just talked about the first season of the In Your Studio podcast, which cannot be found anywhere anymore. But we talked about just how fast time goes. We've been on the spaceship ride to the Purple Planet. We watched you get turned into a plush to take on enemies from the past. And more importantly, we have watched you evolve as a creator. But for those unfamiliar with who the Nathan709 is, why don't you just give us an introduction?
Well, like Matt said, I'm the Nathan709. I've been making videos, mainly about Nintendo and gaming, since I was 10 years old. So, over 10 years ago now, which is weird to think. It's crazy. It's been that long. I really love, video production, making videos, telling stories, making people laugh, inspiring people. So I try to portray that through my videos.
Yes, sir. And I think you do it really well. It was funny. I don't know if she typed in the chat at all or was a part of the active chat. But when Return of the Plush came out, my girlfriend was actually also watching from a whole different location. And she saw like me, James, you, J. Matthew, and LD just absolutely going bonkers in the chat for every little thing that would come up.
It was a crazy day.
Dude, the payoff, I'm sure, was well worth it, especially feeling it too, because you took so long in like a bad way, but you put so much love and care into it that you probably over time you're like producing it, you're just like, man, I really hope like this just pays off. And I think it took like 2 minutes from that introduction where you saw the chat slowly come in, you saw everybody typing, that feeling was probably just like instant relief.
Oh yes, yeah. No, it's so crazy to like seeing like all these people pile in that's why I love doing premieres for most of my big videos, because I love interacting and seeing people interact with the video and kind of have their first opinions and first thoughts about it, and they can say that in the chat. So it's really cool, and after working on it for like a while, it just really is a big payoff, and I just love doing that. Yeah.
Taking it back to when YouTube became like the new platform to express yourself, because I don't think people know how easy and well they have it now. Because like 2008, 2009, 2010, YouTube was kind of like that good old what song am I listening to right now? Type it in, watch a lyric video. You didn't really watch like a lot of vloggers. The earliest vlogger I remember was Shay Carl. And then the earliest like kind of like reacting YouTube channel I watched was like Ray William Johnson, but they were like well into their 20s, early 30s. You started literally in like your 10s.
I was not, 13's the age I think you're supposed to have a YouTube channel. I was 10, so
yeah.
I kind of illegally had a YouTube channel for 3 years of the past 10 years, but
Dude, it don't matter at all.
I'm now an adult, so no one can stop me now.
And you're not the first person alive on the internet.
There's people way younger than me that have a YouTube channel that maybe shouldn't, but
Yeah, man. There's a lot.
That's
of
what
people,
happens.
even people in their 20s that have like YouTube channels and social media, they really just need to kind of go elsewhere. Take us through those early days on YouTube of creating videos, but also as a side question, getting your parents' approval rather, because I remember when I was young, like explaining the concept to me like on YouTube, on Facebook, like telling my parents like, hey, like I'm interacting with strangers. They were very like iffy about it, but you were straight up releasing videos. I was just browsing.
Yeah. Well, taking it back, I kind of mentioned this in the Return to the Plush, and starting way back, I think I must have been how old when I found YouTube. I was like 7, maybe before that. I don't know, around a young age, and I remember my dad showing me like music videos at first. It was Queen's "I Want to Break Free." I can picture that where I was. It was down in this basement, actually, him showing me that music video on YouTube, and then I would go on the platform myself and look up stuff I was interested in at the time, because I was a young kid and I wanted to, once I found out people were making stuff about stuff I liked, I wanted to check it out. So I found Winnie the Pooh videos, found Thomas the Tank Engine videos, and that led me to Mario, and that's when I found like Mario videos, and especially Mario Plush videos. I found him at that time. This is when I found Alex C&D as well with his Mario collection. That's where I discovered him. And growing up, I was also just very into filming something. I would always take my parents' camera and film whatever. I would film like my trains was a big thing. I just set it up and just filmed them. I got my mom to film me just playing with them one time. So I loved filming, like being in front of the camera and filming whatever. And a very ironic thing about me as a child was I would always act up whenever a camera was on.
Yeah.
There's a really funny video on an old camera my dad has of me minding my own business at a table, drawing something. I turn over, see the camera, and I start getting up and start dancing and just start acting up and being weird. And it's really ironic how nowadays I'm a YouTuber and I'm doing this a lot, and I love doing this because it's a cool connection back to my childhood. And I've always loved this. As I got older, I think I should mention this here now. I don't even know what led to this, but one day in like late August 2011, I wanted to sing a song. So my dad learned Dynamite quickly on the guitar. And my mom filmed it, and I don't think it would. I think it seemed normal to me at first because we would always film home videos, anyways. So it was like, okay, we're just filming a home video, just whatever. Then my brother sang a song as well, and then weeks later, I forget if my parents shown me this or what happened. I was presented the video that video that it was uploaded on YouTube on a channel, and I was like, and I thought it was so cool. Actually, I thought it was like, dude, I'm on YouTube now. This is awesome. Like, this is so cool. I made it. And little did I know that video would become a huge joke with a lot of my friends and a lot of people online, and that would make a whole 3-part series about it. But you know, as cringy as that clip is, that really actually means a lot to me, because that was the first time, like I said, I seen myself on YouTube, and I kind of had the thought like, hey, I kind of want to do this.
Yeah, man. And it's like it's definitely a feeling, like as you mentioned, like you could view it cringy as like an outside looking in, but like for it kind of being like where you started, like where you remember like your first like spark, you're like, that's cool. I'm a really young age, but like I know like I'm interested in this. I love filmmaking. As you said, camera on you, all of a sudden you have a persona, you have a personality. So I wouldn't even put it in the cringe realm. I would say it's kind of, as you mentioned, like a concrete moment of how it all sparked. Because especially as a kid, like you don't really have like a perfect like script you want to write. You don't know like exactly like how you make videos now. Like you don't have time to like make it all. Like when you're inspired by something or you want to start creating something, it's usually created by like a random moment in time that defines everything else.
Yeah, and that's kind of how my channel started. I remember, well, I continued kind of doing the random video thing. I created the name Nathan709 when I was like 9, or I think it was either 9 or early when I was 10. It was just kind of, I think I used it as like a gamer tag when I got my Xbox 360. I think because I took the name of that channel, which it was called Rochelle709, and I liked it. I just replaced my name there and went with it. So around when I was 9 or 10, I met my friend Liam, and we quickly connected because he liked Nintendo and everything, and he also had a YouTube channel, and I remember seeing his videos for the first time, and I was like, dude, like this is awesome. Like I'm listening to you on YouTube. Like this is so cool. And that was another moment where I was like, I want to do this. This is something I really want to do. And I had a video uploaded to that Rochelle709 channel at some point. I made like a Lego stop motion video and put it on there. And then eventually, September 2014, sat down with my dad and I was like, you know what, I want to create this YouTube channel finally. I want to have my own YouTube channel. So we created the Nathan709, and that's when I started doing Plush videos, because my friend Liam, he had a channel where he made Plush videos, and I also just grew up watching them. So I went ahead, I had a couple Mario plushes, so I sat down and was on my floor, and Mario couldn't get up. So and that's where it all started. So yeah, again, like I was just inspired by Liam and by the videos I watched as a kid to start, even if they didn't, I didn't really have a whole, I didn't really know a whole lot about storytelling or filmmaking or anything. I just wanted to do this. It was something I wanted to do for so long, and I finally had a platform where I could do it.
Yeah, man. And it was like your passion that pursued it, and like what's really cool, what I took away from that was like you literally had such a support system in your family, but your family was also very sentimental. So to know that like recording home videos of just like you growing up kind of like turned into what you do nowadays is probably not even a proud moment for your parents, but also like full circle, knowing that what they found special in the family was what their son would want to pursue as a young kid, as a teenager, as a young adult. And honestly, mentioning Liam as well, it's really cool because the connection here is Liam introduced us to you. Liam, I haven't spoke to, I want to say, in maybe over 2 years, but I just remember when Liam told me 2021, I think it was March, it's like, hey, my friend Nathan just put out a video about Mario Galaxy, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna check it out. Hit you up on Instagram or Discord. I was like, hey man, watch that video. And from us meeting, and it was just a crazy feeling because I met so many people through you, J Matthew, LD, the N10 community, and I was gonna say as well, like with your YouTube journey, you met these people somewhere, if I met them, because I met them through you. From your Tipping Stars crew consisting of J Matthew, James Merle, Nintendo, Jack Division, Dolphin Arena, to the people I just mentioned, LD, Mega Matt, and 10 and all of them, having such a gigantic crew of creators is not only great for you as a content creator, but they also become friends at the end of the day. Like they become people like you confide in who live in different parts of the world. But for you per se, taking it way back, who was kind of like your Liam for you and I? Like who was the first person you met online to kind of introduce you to this whole world of content creators?
So the first couple of years were really slow for me in growth. I think from about 2014 to 2016, I gained like 60 some odd subscribers. The first person I met was someone Liam met, actually. Liam met this guy named Zayden, who also made Plush videos. And I met him through Liam. We had a little group called Mario Media Studios back in the day, where we wanted to, just create Plush videos together. I forget exactly. We didn't really do much with it. It was just kind of a channel and a kind of a name we put on stuff. But that was kind of the first kind of friend I made through doing this. But after Zayden, it was around 2016 October. It was Alex Seni's birthday. He had a Discord server, and that's when I first found out about Discord. I joined the server, and the first person I talked to in there was CJ Destroya.
Got you, yes.
So he was one of the first people I met through this whole community, and he is still around in my on my server. He still watches videos. He made my intro. He's still involved, which is really really cool to see, because it's crazy to think that this year it'll be 9 years since I met him, which is weird to think about, but it's cool seeing people that go way back in my YouTube kind of journey still around today. That's the coolest thing about all this.
I agree with that entirely. And for those in the FTI community who don't know who CJ Destroya is, he is a incredible visual artist, but I would even say like stop motion mixed with like animation video style.
I got to see him like evolve as an animator, and just going back to 2016 and seeing how he improved was so crazy. It's insane. I remember when he used to use Microsoft Paint. And he used Microsoft Paint frame by frame, I believe. I don't know how he fully did it. And I was still like amazed by his work, but then seeing it improve has just been crazy. And like being able to work for people like Nathaniel Bandy and Scott the Waz now, I'm just so happy for how far he's come since then. It's just so cool. I remember seeing him in Scott the Waz's Christmas special from 2023, and I was like at work, and I was like freaking out. I was like, there he is, there's CJ. I was so happy to see him in there. Like, it was crazy.
What's up, FTI community? My name is CJ Cooper, and I am a singer-songwriter from Guelph, Ontario. And I have some exciting stuff coming up this year, but most importantly, I have a new single called Fog Breath Hearts, and it is coming out on Valentine's Day, February 14th. I'm really excited for this one, so make sure you check it out. Thanks.
Falling in love and knowing that I'm coming home to someone. No, I feel right.
I really enjoyed, like I still do to this day, but my first like glimpse into like your community of like the J Matthews and CJs and everyone was just how supportive you guys were of one another, with like small projects, big projects, just streaming, just hanging out in Discord, because it really defined how FTI would go forward, because at the time I was really just like kind of like Southern Ontario based, with like pinpoints of like an entity in New Zealand, BCV, One-Eyed Bandit, Couch. And then when you introduced me to your friends, I was like, oh my god, like the content creating space and like the people who live stream on Twitch, who produce YouTube videos. My assumption prior to FTI, and it's because I had a run at being a YouTuber and a somewhat not on schedule Twitch streamer, was it was not a dog-eat-dog world, but it was also like people were not really supportive until you found like the right crew. When you met like Jay Matthew, and more specifically like the Tipping Stars crew individually. Like, what are the stories there? Like, you and Jay Matthew and you and James too have a really close friendship. How did that kind of spark?
Well, it really all goes back to one of the former Tipping Stars members, Ventus HD. He used to be part of the podcast. He reached out to me back in 2019, and we became friends. And through him, I think around April is when Jack Division found me. He was looking through, I think Mario. No, he was looking for room tours. Yeah, he was looking through gaming room tours. He stumbled upon me, and actually James at the time as well. At the same time, he didn't meet James till about a year later, but he found me and James at the same time. And then one day he seen me streaming, decided to hop on. He asked like some tips for getting into content creation. He joined VC that night, and we've been friends ever since. So that's how he came along. So quickly, Ventus, Jack, and Dolphin Arena, Brandon, we quickly formed a friendship. Brandon was just a random viewer who decided to come in VC one day, and that's just literally how friendships are made sometimes. You just talk a lot. And yeah, so then later on in the year, Ventus met Jay Matthew in CND's Discord server and brought him along, and we became friends. And then eventually he was in our group, and then same with James. James was kind of on a hiatus for a bit, and then James came back in 2021 and asked me to be a part of his first video back, and that. From that, I think he created a Discord server, and then we started speaking in there with him, and then James was in the group because we talked to him a lot, and then he was there, and then Nin Dude, I think that was Ventus again in the CN Discord. He found him, and it was he just was kind of thrown into the group as well, and then after a while, we just kind of were like, hey, we have a friend group right now. We're not really doing anything with it. We all have to YouTube. We need to do something about this. So that's how Tipping Stars was born.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah. That was this year 3 years ago. Yeah. Tipping Stars started 3 years ago this June.
Yes.
It's going to be.
Yes.
Which is weird to think about.
Tipping Stars started around the same time that FTI was still running seasons, like when we had like the Persona season.
Oh yes, yeah.
I remember when like you guys formed, it was a really big thing for like the content creators, because we all like shared community members, because we still are with a lot of like great friends behind the whole FTI, the TheNathan709. Like when we're not content creators, I'm pretty sure it's confident to call us all good friends behind the scenes. It's actually really funny that Ventus was kind of like the middleman for you guys, because Ventus is how I met Mega Matt, and it was also through Discord, because Mega Matt was producing weekly videos, and he's like, hey, I got someone for you to meet. He'd be really interested in being a part of the FTI community. And before you and I got on this call today, I was just telling you about just how much Mega Matt contributes and edits for FTI. So I can't picture a world where I didn't meet Mega Matt, and if it wasn't through Ventus, sometimes I'm like, would I have met him through the Lits, because they're all great friends too. So yeah, man, like Ventus was really like the centerpiece for a lot of people connecting. If it wasn't for the friends here, though, the other realm, and I'm sure you made friends from them too, is the people you're inspired by, like content creators, musicians, artists in general, that really have taken your YouTube career to the next level, like Scott the Waz, like Alex C&D. And we've talked about it in the past where when somebody animates you or illustrates you, you look identical to how Scott the Waz is drawn. Yeah. But between being inspired by your content creator idols and your friends, who would you say, or what would you say rather, are some of your biggest motivation boosters and memories you made in both circles, both like idols in the space and friends?
Well, a big reason I'm here now doing all this is Alex C&D, which I've talked about before many times. Again, I'll just try to sum it up here. He was someone I found when I was around 7, 8, or 9, around that young age, with his Mario collection video, and I thought it was so cool that this kid, he didn't look too much older than me, had this this big Mario collection, and I was like, this is so cool. I want to do this. I want to own all these things. So I, stuck around on his channel. I think I forgot about him at one point. Came back to his channel when he was a bit older, and just stuck around. I really loved his videos. Really loved the way he connected with his community, and I just loved his channel. So eventually, 2016, like I said, joined his Discord server. Talked to CJ for the first time. Later that night, he tuned in. He was streaming at the time, and he, on the stream, came into his Discord server, came into a voice channel, and was just talking to us. And I get to ask him a question. I just told him, "Hey man, my first video I seen by you was your Mario collection video," and he was like, "Dude, that's insane, Nathan!" And I was like freaking out inside. And going back to what you said earlier about my parents kind of were like, "Oh, he's talking to people online." What, like, that was, I think, the first moment. That's a big moment I distinctly remember. Like my mom being like, "This is like, what are you doing? You can't be doing this." Like, did not understand. And again, I was 12, so it is kind of like, 12-year-old like talking to people online. It might have been a bit concerning, but
for you, it's like the biggest thing in the world.
This was crazy. I was like, this is awesome. So Alex quickly then became a huge inspiration. He subscribed to my channel at some point later that month, I believe, or the next month. He made a video at some point about how liking Nintendo doesn't make you weird or doesn't make you a nerd, and that really meant a lot because I was in junior high then. And that's when people started to get a bit weird about that stuff. So it really meant a lot, and really, really helped me be more confident in my interest and talking about it with other people and not being afraid to share it. And I even like in like speeches like that year in like English class, I decided to talk about YouTube and stuff like that. I think every year in junior high I talked about something Nintendo related or gaming related.
Me too.
And I felt good about it. I did feel nervous because speaking in front of people is not my best attribute.
Yeah.
On camera I'm fine, but if you put me in front of a group of people, I'm not as good.
Because you don't have like infinite takes. You literally are presenting to these people.
So I felt more confident talking about what I liked, and he kind of inspired me to change the way I do my videos. That's when I stopped doing Plush videos. I just kind of fell out of it a bit. Started doing more like talking to the camera, Nintendo related videos, and throughout that year in the C&D community, I grew a whole lot more than I did for the past 2 years that I was doing YouTube at that point. He really meant a lot. And then when he kind of went away for a bit, he kind of, went on a bit of a hiatus online around 2019. That kind of inspired me because I wanted to embody like the spirit of what he was and wanted to inspire people and, kind of be the kind of person he was. So I really pushed that forward in my videos around that time. And then he kind of went away again in 2020. And this is when I was streaming one day randomly and he popped in the stream. We were chatting away for a bit, and this was his first appearance online in like months, and it being in my stream was also just so cool. Yeah. But we were just chatting away and just chatting about just going to memory lane, and then he went to his Discord server and put the link to his stream there, to my stream, and everyone started coming in, and that's the night I hit 1,000 subscribers. So it's just crazy how this person I liked and watched a lot as a kid helped me become just help me grow as a content creator, and it's one of the craziest moments of my entire channel so far.
Yeah, man. Oh no, entirely. Yeah. It's really not funny to say this, but it, like, as you worded exactly how you felt about Alex, being an idol turned into a friend, turned into someone who helped push like the Nathan709 YouTube channel and you as a content creator, I reciprocate those feelings towards you and like the similar people we have in our circle. Because if it wasn't for you, FTI was very stagnant. I think when you came into FTI, we were at maybe like 250 followers on Instagram. We were doing newsletters, and the newsletters were the same like 5 to 6 people every week, just on a consistent rotation. But I remember the moment I met you, you just introduced me to so many people, and you really made me feel like what FTI did was like, it to me, I finally get it, that it's like worth it for an independent creating community. But at the time, 2021, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm just rewriting the same thing for the same group of people. You really showed me that like, if you have like this core community, you can make like newsletters feel like a spectacle. You can make newsletters feel like they're important, because you're giving content creators like the opportunity to feel like they're being on like a BuzzFeed or like some bigger platform. And that really took FTI from like 250 followers on Instagram to 500 on Instagram within the span of a month. And then we got to take part in so many collaborations. And then with everything there, it really led us to today. And I think it's something that we knew we were going to talk about, was the return of the Plush video. Not only was it such like a big moment in your YouTube career, but also you as a storyteller, you as a filmmaker, because the production behind it and just the production that went into it, you filmed it for close, if not a whole year. Not only was it a magnificent video, as I mentioned, and it also standing out in your portfolio, taking your ideas and concepts from your early days on YouTube, from the Plush videos, from everything you created, and mixing it with what you created with the years that followed, making an 1.5-hour short film out of it. I really want to know everything that went into it, how you knew like you were gonna go visit Jay Matthew and get that whole crew involved. What did the beginning of the process look like, turn into the final like upload to YouTube, schedule the premiere?
Well, I kind of had the idea for a while, because around like 2022, I knew my 10-year anniversary was coming up. Like, it was gonna happen sooner than I thought. So it was a no-brainer. I think the idea of me doing a Plush video again, that was like an idea that I don't think I had any other idea for what it would be. Like, I knew I had to do that. So that was always the idea. And around 2023, I was like, okay, I really need to start thinking about this. Like, what is this video? What's going to happen in the video? Like, what am I going to do? I think one of the very first ideas I had wasn't even to do with the Plush video. It was just the opening of the video. I wanted to have a day in my life kind of thing. That was one of my very first ideas. So back, I think in August 2020, in the summer of 2023 at least, the music you hear in the opening started then. Like, it was over a year before the video's even going to come out. I had the idea for the music, the whole like kind of the fusion remix, I call it, because it goes from like 8-bit to like SNES to like Genesis, N64. It kind of goes through the years of gaming. That popped in my head. I started writing that because I think I discovered like getting like samples from like these different consoles and using them. And I experimented with it. I liked how it sounded. So pretty much what you hear was recorded like back in the summer of 2023, which is cool. So that's when that started. I started thinking about it, started really just putting work into it and thinking about the whole plot around a year before the 10-year anniversary. So around September 2023, I was okay. I need to think of what the whole concept of the video is. The basic idea premise of the video stuck. Where I trying to do something, don't know what to do. I think of my Plush videos. I asked my friends to come over and help me finish 709 Plush Bros finally. I think the original plan was we all get sucked into the Plush world, but and I wanted to get plushes made of all of us, which would have been really cool, but it was way too expensive. I wanted to get a new one of me done as well, because that one I made in the 8th grade for like a home ec project one time. We were doing like the sewing chapter or whatever, and that's what we did. We just had to make something. So I made that, and that was going to be the backup. I was going to try to get a real plush made, but then I looked online, way too expensive. So I was like, you know what? I have this plush of me. It looks kind of like a kid made it, so I'm going to roll with it. I think it'll be funny. So that's how that came to be. The whole ending where I come out of the plush world, they start invading. It was just going to be a fight with me and my friends in back here in my house. But then we were always we were planning a trip to Pennsylvania for that summer, and it pretty much, this was like a shower thought. I think it hit me like, wait, I can film the ending of this video in Pennsylvania with my friends, which I think will be super cool. And then Brandon has a Blackmagic, which is a pretty good film camera. And I was like, he said we could use that. I'm like, that would be awesome. He was gonna bring it to the trip anyways, so I was like, we're gonna have to use this for the climax. And it was another shower thought where I was like, how do I get to Pennsylvania in the video? And then the thought of like, oh shoot, the Purple Planet rocket ship is still sitting there. So like, yes, that's sir. Like, and this was just in the shower. I'm like, this is genius. Like, this is perfect. This is gonna work out. Like, this is gonna work out so perfectly. So I had that whole plan. I was gonna use the rocket ship. I was gonna crash land in Pennsylvania, and J. Matthew was gonna find me. So that's how that came to be. So the whole plot was there. I was writing the script out. I only scripted what I had done by June of this year. The only part that was done was the bit at the end. So everything, only the plan about the whole Plush series. I didn't have the Plush part even scripted yet at all. Everything up to when I landed in Pennsylvania was not even filmed, not scripted, nothing. So the first thing we filmed for the whole video was me falling down in the grass in the middle of nowhere in Pennsylvania. And I kind of had to work around that section for the rest of the video, which was really cool. It just worked out really good. I think writing around it, and I was able to make it connect and flow together seamlessly. So it worked out pretty good. And filming that with my friends was so surreal. And I think that trip lining up with the 10-year anniversary was really, it was just the perfect timing for that. Agreed. Because I was able to commemorate me being on this platform for 10 years by being in another country with my online friends filming a video on a film camera, which was insane. And it was cool being, because James doing short films, he knows what he's doing. He knows how to, he directed most of that. He knew the shots that would be good for what I was going for. He was mainly the man behind the camera for most of the stuff where he wasn't on camera. So it was really cool, and seeing that perspective as well of like how like a film set kind of feels, which was really cool. So the whole section was super fun to film, and it was a highlight from the video for sure for me, and being able to reveal it in the video, like J. Matthew walking down the steps. That was so cool to me. And then I came back home, and then I was writing some more, finally getting to write the rest of the video out, everything that happened beforehand. All my friends, Ethan, Kobe, and Ben, we all got together. We filmed our parts in my basement, which was cool. It took 3 days to film. It was meant to take one night, and ended up taking 3 nights, because the first night, Ben unexpectedly, his brother called and was like, "Bro, you're supposed to pick me up later." Like, no. I'm like, oh, no. And he had no idea, so we had to wrap up quickly what we could, and he had to leave. The second day, Kobe completely forgot about it. He was like 30 minutes out of town, where his girlfriend lives. So we're here. Ethan and Ben both show up, and I'm like, oh no, what do I do? So we couldn't really do anything that night. We had to film a couple things, but that was it. And then finally, the last day, we're all here. We got it done.
Nailed it all out.
and it was cool. And then one part that really meant a lot was the plush section of the video. Was one of the last things I'd done for the whole video. And I got Liam to come film it with me. He filmed it. And I wanted to do that. That was one of the things I really wanted to have him here for, because, again, where we both started. We both started with plush videos. He was a big reason why I made plush videos, so I wanted him to be here for that and help me. So that was really fun. It was really weird doing it again, because I haven't done it since I was like 12 or 13.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So doing that again was super, super cool in a way. Like, in a way, I kind of missed it because it was a big part of, my channel. So being able to film it a lot better than I did, being able to script it out and make it a lot more funnier and just make fun of myself was really fun. And having different sets and stuff, and having different voices for each of the characters. I remember the Bowser sounding like Elvis was another random thought. I was just at work one day and I was going, "Hey, Mario," and I was like, "That's Bowser's voice. There it is. That's his voice." So I was like, you know what? He's just gonna sound like Elvis, and like the whole point was that, like, Mario doesn't know who he is. The plush world doesn't know who the heck Elvis is. So Bowser just randomly sounds like him. They're not gonna know. So, yeah. But I know. And that another part was when we went to like the forest, or we were trying to find Donkey Kong, and we went to the jungle, but it was the forest, because I thought, if I was a 10-year-old and I was trying to find, an area to film the jungle, where would I go?
Yes.
The forest. So I played it off saying, "This is the forest. What are you talking about?
This is it. Yeah.
This is the jungle. What do you mean?" So, yeah, filming that whole plush part was super fun, and it was a cool way to finally send off my plush series that never ended. So it was cool to have finally put it to an ending. That's a big part of this whole video. It was cool to finally just put it to an end, give it an ending, and connect it to like the modern, like you said, connecting it to what I do now was super cool. And yeah, finally getting it all together, editing it took a while, mainly because I was in school as well, trying to get it done, trying to make it as best as it could be. That's why it was really pushed to October, because I really wanted it I didn't want it to be rushed. I wanted to take my time, put as much work as I could into it, and I think the results turned out
spectacular.
better than I expected. So, I'm super happy how it all came together, how it all flowed together. It's kind of a weird kind of filming pattern I had. Filming the ending first was kind of funny. It's kind of weird, but that's just how it worked out.
I really think that during the process, and please correct me if I'm wrong, during the filming process, the script writing, the production, everything, you were silently, unknowingly tying in your last 10 years of being a content creator, being in Discord servers, and making a celebratory video with random ideas on how you can enhance it. Because being able to go visit your Discord friends in real life in Pennsylvania turned into incorporating your real friends into it, tying in the Purple Planet, which is another one of your most incredible videos, and one of the videos that I know rank high in like your portfolio. And then you also got to mix in your music creation in there.
Oh, yes.
Which you create a lot of original music. Where does that stem from in all of this? Like, was it because you're a content creator and you're like, I could hire someone to make my music, or I can make the sounds that I want to make, or at least try to?
Yeah, well, I've been, playing the piano since I was 3. So I've been very musical my whole life. And I think it's just really fun to be able to put music in a video. Seeing Scott the Woz do it was really fun. But me being able to do it myself and do everything myself and create the songs and write it all myself instead of he's not really musical, so he gets someone to write it. He helps a bit with the writing, but it's usually in someone else's hands for him. I thought it was super cool if I could do it all myself and be able to, produce the songs and write it all. And I think it's a very fun process in the video because it's just something I love doing. And just sitting back and listening to a song I made and realizing, wow, I made this. Like this is
Yes.
I made this for a YouTube video. It's just super cool. I mainly try to do it for big videos. I think it makes it a bit more special. Because if it was in a random video all the time, it wouldn't be as special when you're watching this big video and you see a song I made. That's kind of I really love doing it for these big videos because, like I said, it makes it special. And yeah.
With like Return of the Plush, Journey to the Purple Planet, the Mario Galaxy video, with everything kind of being, well, it is themed around video games. Have you ever thought about kind of taking like the James Merrill path where you like translate the skills you've learned in like filmmaking, the production process, script writing, and kind of like making original films that are outside of the video game realm?
Yeah, that's been I think in my mind has been making a short film. I just need the time to do it.
Yes.
That's something I want to do, and definitely seeing James do it it's made me like want to try to attempt to make one, because I think it will definitely improve my skills a lot. Because yeah, I do try to make my videos in kind of that film kind of way, I guess, like kind of storytelling and the way I cinematography try to incorporate kind of film techniques in it, but I think making an actual short film would help that a lot more and try and advance my skills in video making and video production and content creation. And I do eventually want to try to go to film school after I get my business degree, just because this is what I love doing. I love making stuff. And doing that all the time would be so cool. And that's something I'm really, that's one of my goals is to try to do that.
I think you have such like a bright and like such like a, I guess for lack of a better term, like an open path in front of you for doing that too. Because if you're not like studying it, you're definitely still learning it, and I guess loosely studying it by creating. Especially if you were to like make these skills, translate these skills, put it into like an original short film that doesn't deal with like video games, and then maybe you could attract like an audience that's like, hey, I found Nathan from his short film. Oh my goodness, he has like 10 years of a YouTube channel to now check out with like video game and content creation. Because always bringing in an audience from different realms in all bringing it back to you, I would say is one of the most special feelings. When I was doing graphic design, photography, and FTI, I remember I had a few friends go like, I didn't even know that you did FTI. I just know you did graphic design, but now you've introduced me to a world of graphic designers. It's all about being versatile, but also my favorite thing before, as you know, like being busy, growing up and realizing like saying yes to everything is a great thing, but also if you can just also like say, hey, I am a filmmaker in this section, but I mainly emphasize on one genre, which is like the video game content creation world. You can really make a difference in not only your portfolio, but inspire the portfolio of others. And going back to the early days of FTI, March or April 2021, when we were like, hey, this is what we do, this is what we're about. You've now witnessed the old FTI, which were those days, and more recently the revamped FTI. In all of it, though, you've become such an integral part of the FTI community. What do you remember about the early days, and what has your thought process been going forward to like present day?
I remember when you first contacted me, because I seen Liam post you guys on his Instagram story, so I knew who you guys were. So when you DM me, I was like, yeah, I know who he is. Like this will be fun. I love meeting new people. I love interacting with new people, and I seen FTI saying somewhere I could do that. So that was really fun when you guys wanted to promote my video, because I just wanted to meet new people, and seeing you guys grow has been really cool. Because again, like you said, I was there with the old newsletters, and now with the revamp, and seeing you guys go from just doing all these newsletters to having a relaunch concert, which is super
unreal.
cool. Super cool. So yeah, it's just really cool to see something grow. I guess this happens for everyone too, like any content creator, seeing something grow from something small to something even bigger. So it was just really cool to see that happen for you guys.
I really enjoyed the time of the Purple Planet video coming out. The FTI community got to like leak into it as well. I remember Eero was a part of it, and Eero became a part of it because you were doing like kind of like a casting call looking for like people to collaborate with, and then he became, I believe, like a consistent in your community at the time. And then like I think it was like the Geek Slays 2 also took part in something, and then if it was if it wasn't them taking part in it, they were always there to like and share, and at the time retweet. So seeing like your community, the FTI community, kind of like intertwine, and you guys both like reap the rewards was so cool. I think going forward, one of the biggest things that is a plan for FTI, and I really want to make it happen this year, if not next year, is traveling with it. Like, not more so like we really are in like the southern Ontario, like Guelph, Kitchener, Waterloo. But if I was able to like get up, travel somewhere, do content face to face with someone down in the Pacific, down in the Maritimes would be the perfect place to do it. I have a lot of friends who have moved down to like the Nova Scotias, the Newfoundlands. So being able to like pick FTI up, go down there, you and I potentially get together to actually like do like kind of like an in-person thing would be a giant check off the bucket
That'd
list.
be cool. Hey, there's a shirt if you in the tipping and the was too many games vlog. Just get everyone to sign a shirt. There's space for your name.
Dude,
so,
I'm down.
It'll be there.
I am so
anyone
down.
I meet from online is going to be able to sign that shirt. I'm going to bring that with me everywhere I go.
Yes.
If I meet anyone that I've met through the internet, they're going to sign that shirt because I want that to be a representation of how far I've come online as well. All the people I've met being on that shirt. I think I want to frame it one day and just have all these signatures on it. I think it's super cool.
I think that would speak volumes for how much you've grown too individually. I think, I know I probably said it a million times, I just think the coolest thing is taking this small idea, blowing it up, but you have an actual like tangible thing in front of you that shows you your results instead of numbers on a screen or like a follower count.
I have this picture right here of all of us at Too Many Games.
Yes, sir.
Seeing this is super cool. That's just on my desk there, and just looking at that, and just that's another good representation of how far I've come. Seeing all of us there together is just super cool.
And
yeah,
no, you're good. No, you're good, man.
No, it's crazy how that happened in the 10-year anniversary. Again, like I just said, that's crazy. Perfect timing. Couldn't have happened any better way.
No, agreed. For the people who have known you on both a personal level and a creator level, it is really obvious, and I'm sure the people getting their first introduction to you from this podcast or like this whole week we just did celebrating you as a creator, you're a very goal-oriented person, and you're also someone who is very strategic and sporadic with planning, as we talked about with the Return of the Plush video. With 2025 being here, which is crazy because 2025, when I say it out loud, it hasn't sunk in yet.
No.
What is on your bucket list for 2025? Have you set any goals in place that you want to accomplish before we ring in 2026?
Definitely want to get back to a point where I can be more consistent with YouTube, because the past since 2022 hasn't really been that consistent. So I definitely want to get back to a point when I can, because right now with school I'm going to have the focus, but say around April, I think that's when I can really just get to it, start making videos, which I'm really looking forward to. There's so many ideas I've had for the past number of years that I still want to do. So that's pretty cool. I think I have a third channel called Nathan Elliott, which is my name. Which I want to do, random, whatever. That channel I can do whatever on. Whenever I feel like I did like a Mountain Dew video on there a couple years ago. If I want to do a random like a movie, if I talk about a movie I've seen, I just want to throw that on there. There's actually a video idea I had for that channel that I'm actually going to move to the main channel because I've just been really inspired to do it. and I don't want to put all this work into it and have it sitting on this channel that not a lot of people know about.
Yeah.
Not gaming related, but I feel like for this instance, like I'm inspired by it. I want to put it on the main channel for people to see. So definitely that kind of different kind of content I want to do. That's really it. I'm just gonna go with the flow again.
Yeah.
I definitely want to make another Christmas special this year because I didn't do one this year, mainly because of Return of the Plush and how big that was, and also needing a little bit of a break.
Of course.
I was planning to do a small one, but then it just didn't happen, and I just kind of was like, yeah, whatever. I just need to, just relax a bit. But for next year, I want to do another big Christmas video. So that's something I want to think about throughout the year, so that by the time when December rolls around, I have, I'm ready to do it and not just trying to attempt to think of something.
Yes.
But that's really it, I think, for 2025. I just want to try to be more consistent, kind of get back to kind of to where I was, and just have fun with it. Just go with the flow, see what happens.
And like when you have fun, it kind of like leaks into like creating the video as well.
Yeah.
Something that you honestly made me think of while saying all of that was more specifically how you kind of put yourself on like a time frame to like, oh, in April when things like time to like when time becomes more free. Would you say that like the reasoning between like your last video versus your next video is because the production you want to put into it, so it's not just like a, for lack of a better term, like a throwaway video, because you just always want to make your videos kind of feel like an occasion, an experience, like something to watch? Or is it just more so because if you write something, you're just going to continuously make it grander and you want to focus the time on that?
Yeah, I want to focus my time on it. I don't want it to be rushed.
Yes.
I want to make sure it's the best it can be. So that's why I take my time with things. And I'm not at I'm not at a good, like, I can't write stuff quick. I just procrastinate, and I sometimes not in the mood for it. I try to do it, and I have trouble starting writing. Actually, that's a big thing. I have trouble starting writing something. Once I get into it, then I'm fine. I can go do it. But I need to start it first.
Yes.
And then,
in the musician world, I really hope I'm not kind of like breaking the fourth wall, or like kind of, as my favorite coin term expression, whatever it is lately, is pulling back the curtain. For musicians, more specifically my good friend Shoop, when he has an inspiration, he'll go right to the computer or like think about it all day. But if he has to like sit somewhere and force himself to write something, that's when he cannot, because as you mentioned, like the writing process is a lot harder to do when you're forcing yourself to do it as opposed to being inspired by something. In the same realm though of being inspired, and I asked the previous guests, Dylan Lorman, a Couch, and Average James, the idea of vulnerability, I think you're another person that this question would relate to the most. Because as you mentioned, in junior high, making Nintendo videos, making Plush videos, you had to be really vulnerable at exposing yourself to like what your interests are, what you enjoy doing, what you enjoy creating. How did you take vulnerability, or rather, how do you deal with vulnerability when creating? Is it something you think about, or is it more so just not even a thought in your mind?
Well, when I'm working on videos, I kind of have a thought like, is this gonna be good? It's gonna be a good video. I kind of, even when filming stuff, I'm like, man, I don't like how this is turning out. I don't like how I'm saying stuff. I'm messing up my words all the time. Like, what am I doing?
Well.
Then the video comes out, and I'm like, oh, okay, this actually turned out, good. Like, this, I didn't need to worry at all. But I think it's always a thing I'd worry about. Like, I'm always like thinking too much about it. Like, are people gonna like this? Like, that's a big thought in my head.
When you're looking at the camera lens, whether it's like an iPhone or it's an actual like camera, it's crazy that a lens, for me personally, makes me think about the tens of hundreds of eyes that are gonna just be scrolling by it. So like when I recorded like your creator of the week, when I recorded like Couches and Average James's, it's crazy that I can't just like look at the lens and go like talk, 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 okay, cut. I just think that if the community is watching me right there, and then when like my friends and family see it, thinking about that as well is another like huge thought. But as you mentioned, like when you release it, when you put it out, it's kind of a really good feeling. To end the conversation, I'm gonna fire 3 rapid questions at you. The first one, you can say 1, you can say 5, you can name a whole year's worth. What is your go-to anthem at the moment, like song-wise?
Song-wise, whew. I have no idea. I don't really have a favorite song. The thing, like I listen to a bunch of music, I just don't have a favorite song. I want to quickly look at my playlist.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Because actually, no, I have an answer.
I'm ready.
So a couple months ago, I forget when it was released, maybe November, I think. There was this is an interesting answer. There was a documentary about John Williams that came out, and the credits used a song I've never heard before by him. It was from the movie Hook.
Okay.
And it was the theme, I guess the theme from that. And I never heard it ever, and I was like, this sounds awesome. So that, I constantly play that sometimes, and it just sounds so cool. I don't know what about it. I just love it. So it's not really like an anthem for me. It's just something I like listening to a lot. And that's what first popped in my mind then, yeah. I was about to scroll through my playlist, but then I thought like, oh, wait, that.
That's the one.
So, yeah.
The next question for you, and this does not have to be in the FTI community because you have a very diverse, large community of content creators and people you watch. Who is an artist or a collective that you would recommend the FTI community tune into? Again, it can be kind of like the songs, or you can name 1 or you can name 5.
So this is like any like YouTuber as well, too, right?
Anybody that you watch that creates.
Okay. This is another interesting thing. I mentioned as a kid I liked Thomas and Friends a lot.
Yes. Big
part of my childhood and still a big part today of my life. It means a lot to me. Very nostalgic for it. That's just been a thing for me. I love going back and watching things online about stuff I liked as a kid. That's been one big thing I look back to. There's a YouTuber I watched called The Unlucky Tug, who does like retrospective videos on the show, breakdowns of characters, breakdowns of seasons, breakdowns of interesting facts and stuff about it. And growing up with the show, the videos really mean a lot and really are intriguing to me. So if anyone grew up with the show at all or just is intrigued in other types of media, that's a channel I love watching. So that's shout out, I guess. Yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing I want to talk about more on YouTube. Not gonna spoil anything, but definitely you might hear more about that show at some point this year. So
I think what's really neat about your YouTube name, the Nathan709, is that like although you've built the brand up to be like Nintendo video game related, it's not one of those names where you're married to like a certain thing, because you could make videos based on like Thomas the Train, Thomas the Tank Engine, but you could also make a video about something that you're not even inspired for and into yet, and it could still go with your name. But if it was like the Nintendo 709, then you're kind of you kind of shot yourself in the foot with it. But speaking of the Nathan 709, the third question, which is usually the hardest one, plug yourself. Tell the FTI community where they can find you, what's going down, all your socials, one social, anything where you want the FTI community to check it out. The floor is yours.
Well, so again, you can find me on YouTube, where you'll mainly see all my stuff where I make. That's where I put majority of the stuff I do online. It's gonna be on there. I have secondary channels. I have the TheNathan709 2. Mainly where I put a bunch of extra content, like old videos that never got uploaded, or old videos that I once had up that I took down, childhood clips, like I mentioned earlier, a bunch of those clips I filmed as a kid. The ones I have, I sometimes put up. Bloopers, behind the scenes stuff, commentaries from past videos. This is where I put all the extra kind of stuff. Nathan Elliott is a channel, again, I mentioned, where I can do whatever. If I just want to do a random video that has nothing to do with gaming, I'll probably put it on there. Unless I feel really inspired by it and want people to see it, like kind of spread it out a bit more, I'll put it on the main channel. But a lot of the stuff, extra stuff, will go on Nathan Elliott. I did a video on Mountain Dew on there. I did film another Mountain Dew related thing while away on my trip this past summer. So that's something I'll be putting up there soon. If I ever want to do anything music related, maybe it'll go there. This will be like a random channel. Anything goes on that channel. I also have a Twitter, or X. I have that. Blue Sky I recently made a couple months ago, which I'm going to plug heavily now. Instagram, I have an Instagram for my channel. Discord server, which you'll find somewhere on my channel in the description. You can look me up on streaming services. You can play the music from my videos on streaming services. Just search up Nathan Elliott, and you'll probably find me. And I think that's it. I think that's mainly all where you'll find me. Hopefully going to be posting stuff soon. I have an idea for this month. I have a room tour I might do to start the year off. I have a thank you video for the 10-year anniversary, plus the Q&A answers that I asked questions a couple months ago. I'll finally answer them. Trying to get that video done soon, just so it's not too late into the year before that comes out. But yeah, so I love meeting new people, love interacting with new people, so love to meet anyone who wants to check me out. So that's it.
Heck yeah. FTI community, you will find absolutely everything and anything the Nathan709 in the description down below. I've always wanted to do that. I haven't done that with the other ones yet. Down there.
I've done that so many times over the years. Down there.
It's down, not the pause button, the description.
Up in the eye. Where is it?
Dude,
And then you're
watching.
you're second guessing. You're like, oh, where is it?
Man, I did this thing while we were recording like 2 months ago where I pointed up, but I forgot when it was exported it was going to flip. And I was like, I didn't think that one through. But yeah, FTI community, as you met Nathan this past Monday on the Creator of the Week, the goal of this conversation is to introduce you to Nathan in more of an in-depth, more on a one-on-one personal level. You can check out all of his social medias down below. You can check out absolutely everything. Nathan, my friend, thank you again for joining me on the In Your Studio podcast. I love how this is the second time we've been able to talk all about you, but it is now the only way the FTI community can find out about you.
Even listening back to that one, I was like, man, I want to redo this. So certain parts of that, I think, yeah, there's certain answers I had that were kind of weird.
No, man, it's growth. It's growth. Everybody, have a great day. Have a great night. See you later.